brake drums, wheels and tires off the back. Like somebody just did a clean little brake job back here. Oh, that looks nice and new. I think it's all in order. I gotta get the axles out. See how much that freewheel's there. This car still has the old left-handed thread studs in it, so that's nice. That kind of adds to the originality. There's a lot of stuff on here that seems to be original still, and it just, you know, some maintenance, wear and tear stuff. I'll get the rear end out in just a second. But yeah, not a lot to it. Let's pop our axles and I'll pull a chunk. All right. I got all the nuts off except the top one, and it is halfway off. So I'll be able to bump this thing and some of that good old fluid come out. It does have orange RTV around it in some places. I don't know if that means it's been out or if somebody was just trying to stop a goofy leak or something, or what they thought was a leak. So we'll see. Oh yeah. That fluid's pretty clean. Check it out. That does not make me feel too bad. She must have been out at some point, or at least serviced. 742 case. It didn't have a tag for a gear, so I don't have any idea what that is. But we'll know here just shortly. Let me turn that fan off over there so it'll stop blowing gear oil all over. She's still dripping a little bit, but I'm just gonna pull her out and let it drop. It'll hit the center of this plastic deal. It's not gonna hurt it. And I'm not going back with it anyway. I got a different chunk, so kumbaya. There we go. Ooh, look at that RTV hanging down there. Lift and separate. Look at that. Nothing to it. Housing looks pretty good. That RTV is some old stuff, so I see a layer of, looks like gray, and a layer of orange, so this thing may have been done a couple times. How we look down there? I'm gonna wipe it all out, wash it all out. So far so good. I'm gonna grab this chunk and get it on over to the workbench so we can see it better. I got our chunk out on the old bar top over here, and I definitely had a lot of squished silicone inside there. There's a big old glug. 276 gear, and I'm assuming this is original or at least era correct. 916 to 66. So I believe our car's a 67, as the tail lights say. So only thing I can tell is that it's probably just worn out. The teeth themselves look, they got a wear pattern all the way across, front and rear. And I've got a chunk that I know is good that came out of our beautiful 65 Cornet. The added bonus to that is, one, it's the same 742 case, I do believe, and the gear is actually a 290, I believe it's a 294, so that'll give them a little bit lower end on the Big Fury over here, and still be a nice highway gear they can cruise with and not be spinning a million RPMs, but having a little bit more bottom end would be nice. And I know, like I said, it's a great rear end. The chunk is already cleaned up, it's painted. I can actually pull her out and start looking at it next, because we know we're not using this one. Easy as that. The wrist pin in this, I was messing around with it. It is a little bit loose, so I don't know if the I don't know if you can tell that or not. May not even actually matter, but it would probably be easier to rebuild this one later. I'm just going to keep it for a core. The little roll pin, there it is. All that looks nice. If you remember, I had a my 70 Challenger came with a 7 1/4 because it was a slant 6, and I destroyed it by popping out on the clutch, and that little pin right there sheared. So I don't know, that was the first time I've ever seen that happen. I just thought the old small rear ends had those, but little pin there to drive in for your wrist pin. Center pin. Spiders all look good. They're probably just worn out. I mean, it's rear end's pushing 60 years old, I guess. Finally had some parts trickle in for this thing. I got the new pinion seal in. The other one wasn't leaking, but I figured before this thing goes in, it might as well get it. There's the old chunk again. I think I was incorrect in telling you this is a 741 case. See the one. This is a 742. It doesn't make any difference at all. I went ahead and stole the pinion snubber off of it, cleaned it, painted it black, stuck it on. It won't make any difference for this deal. Some people say the 41 and 42 are both equally weak, or weaker than a 489, but that weakness only matters when you're got big slicks and over 600 horsepower. I've seen people run these at least 650s in the 8th, if not faster, without an issue. I think the trans brakes kind of hurt them, but yeah, I'm gonna get my yoke bolted back on and get that thing stuck. So here is our drive shaft. The factory unit has this ginormous weight on it. I believe that's the dampen vibration or something, but I took it to the drive shaft shop and had it rebalanced. Look, check out the weight that it required here. It's pretty large dudes on this end, and if you roll down, smaller one there. So new splicer joints where they will be greasable, and I just cleaned this up with some real fine sandpaper and a lube. So I'm gonna get it greased up and stuck in. I got the chunk stabbed. I can show you that. She's looking nice in place. Got a new gasket, and I used a little bit of gray RTV made for gear oil, so nice and smooth. New pinion seal, new transmission seal. That's how I would do this. I'd call it the right way. Well, we got our axles in, filled up nicely, wheel back on, all that looks good. I'm going to take this thing down the road, be sure the rear end does not howl, and when we come back I'll start with the new fire core distributor. So let's take a quick trip and y'all ride along with me. Fuzzy dice included. Feels pretty smooth so far. Second. There's third. I think with the 294s it ought to be a little more responsive too, but I had assumed there wouldn't have any issues, but if I do, I'd rather y'all ride along and see here. Still has the original points distributor, and we're getting that fire core performance with the FBO box, so should pick up a little bit there. There's a little Challenger. She pulls good, like old 440 should. That's like half throttle, but you know these things are made for torque. It ought to just float right along. It is. He said, I believe the fuel gauge does not work. Temp showing good. It does not have an oil pressure gauge, but it has a dummy light, so I'm gonna stick an oil pressure gauge in it today. Today or tomorrow, one. Try our brakes. Yeah. Just a big old boat. Got a little hesitation to it, but I hope to fix that in the next video here. Let's see if we can. Yeah, she runs a little rough. Take her back easy. Rear end sounds really nice, smooth. It feels wonderful in here. I've never owned a C body, but the ultimate cruiser, I guess. Might be running out of gas too. If the fuel gauge does work, that's no good. Take it back 4 or 5 gallons in it if it makes it back. Made it. Period number 3. Brakes work nice. Nice soft pedal. And we're here. Anyway, I hope y'all come along for the next video. We'll get some tuning done on this thing and make her run on out good. Appreciate y'all watching.